It is not a fairy tale. It is a never-ending bloody series, a conflict that has reached its peak, where fathers and sons compete for power and control. There in the vast wilderness of Botswana, where one language prevails, the language of death, the only language in which angry lions can communicate, especially in the recent era of conflicts between the legendary killer lion Sekikama and his violent sons. At the head of his sons, Sekoti, this powerful lion emerged as one of the greatest kings who were destined to become rulers of the region, as he inherited strength and courage from his father and became a symbol of brutality and violence in his kingdom. Sekoti was born in 2015 in the Savuti region, which is part of the Chobe National Reserve in Botswana. Since his childhood, the powerful cub has shown signs of power and leadership. After being taught by the best, by his father Sekikama, who was considered one of the fiercest lions in the region, who even the fiercest animals could not stand up to. Before his father expelled him and his brothers, Sekoti learned the arts of hunting and defending the herd, and over time became a leader to be reckoned with. But his life was not easy. He faced many challenges and confrontations with other lions, most notably his father Sekikama, who tried to remove him from power and mate with the females in the herd. But he did not succeed at first due to his father's violent nature and terrifying strength. So he was forced to leave with the rest of his three brothers, Sekiti, Blondie, and Pretty Boy, who chose to isolate themselves alone away from Sekoti. During his journey and wandering, he gained a lot of experience in hunting and fighting, and expelling competitors who were seeking to control his lands. So, thanks to his strength and courage, he was able to overcome all the various threats and skirmishes. His roaring voice could be heard from afar, announcing his presence and control over the area he occupied. The voice was a symbol of strength and majesty, with which he terrified all the animals in the vast savanna, but his eyes continued to watch his father's lands, filled with anger and a desire for revenge. Other battles broke out with his brothers, led by Pretty Boy, who also wanted to rule the place. But thanks to his inherited violence and brilliant intelligence, Sekoti was later able to repel him, expel him, expand his kingdom, and then control new areas. He led his herd with wisdom and courage, and was always in the forefront during hunting and confrontations. Therefore, most of the lionesses respected and followed him, as he was considered an unparalleled leader in the savanna. Sekoti's influence was not limited to his physical strength only, but he had a great impact on the environment around him. Thanks to his leadership, his herd was able to maintain the balance of the ecosystem in the area. Sekoti protected the young animals and ensured that food was available for everyone. Considered a protector of the savanna, he played a major role in preserving the biodiversity of the region. The cameras and eyes of visitors and wildlife conservationists have been focused on this powerful lion, especially since 2021, when he was frequently seen on the northern side of the Savuti River, sleeping like he was the master of the place, relaxed on the ground, back to back, with one of the Northern Pride females. "No male sleeps like this in another male's territory," commented Obed Foti, a safari guide from Savute Safari Lodge, before declaring, "He has definitely taken over the territory." Another safari guide, Robert Oboni from Savut Elephant Lodge, who has followed Sekoti since he was born, says, "We have come to the conclusion that he has chased away his brother Pretty Boy." Sekoti's path north from his herd was incredibly dangerous, as the area was then controlled by his three ferocious brothers, who had also been chased away from the herd by their savage father Sekikama for a long time. For a long time, Sekoti was alone, with no other males to form an alliance with. He was caught between two regions where he was unwanted. So, with his extraordinary courage, Sekoti wandered alone between Leopard Rock and Sable Hill, with many lion lovers around the world following him, predicting what would happen next. The exciting prospect of an impending war with his father was there, and indeed, the idea of a brave young man taking down giant lions like Sycama and Turn Nose was exciting. On his travels, Sekoti ventured north, where he discovered that his older brothers were not as united as they had been. He found the Pride of the North led by Pretty Boy alone, while two of his brothers were away. After deciding to go to battle with his brother, Sekoti began a violent campaign to invade the north, and a massive battle ensued, leaving Sekoti with life-threatening injuries, and he decided to retreat. But the vengeance that gripped this fierce lion pushed him once again to fight his second battle in his war with Pretty Boy, which took place in the same year of 2021, and was the bloodiest as it left both lions suffering from some very bad injuries. Sekoti was seen limping heavily with a swollen foot. While Pretty Boy spent a few days in hiding after the battle, it was later discovered that he barely survived the fight, as Sekoti had disfigured him, ruining his beauty that had given him the nickname Pretty Boy. Sekoti remained determined to take over the north, so he recruited his three younger brothers from the Marsh Pride Alliance that he controlled. But it was a fragile and weak alliance that did not receive much support to achieve anything. These three youngsters would leave Sekoti alone, returning to the Pride for food supplies, as they were still inexperienced in hunting, earning them the nickname Rebels. So without any support, Sekoti went on a solo mission to try to take over the north and depose Pretty Boy again. The intelligent females of the Northern Pride saw the great potential in Sekoti, and that's when they started visiting him to allow him to mate. For them, he was an insurance policy. If Sekoti defeated his brother Pretty Boy and became their new king, they would be guaranteed to have strong cubs that carried their father's genes. Pretty Boy felt betrayed and tried in vain to defend his territory. But Sekoti wouldn't back down. He kept coming. Meanwhile, the rebellious young siblings were growing rapidly, becoming larger males who could fight. It was becoming too dangerous for Pretty Boy, who had since lost one of his fangs. In August of the same year, 2021, Sekoti made another bold move and surprised everyone when he went to fight his old uncle, Turn Nose. And indeed, Sekoti succeeded in stealing a female from his uncle, while leaving him with bruises all over his face. It was a clear message to the kingdom that Sekoti was no longer that little cub who left the herd, but rather he had become a big lion who covets ruling the entire region. The old and weak King Sekikama stayed away from his son's path and did not wander outside the Tiger Rock, the area where he was hiding, although many were longing for this meeting, but the two lions avoided each other. Sekikama did not do like Turn Nose, who continued to encroach on Sekoti's territory around Tiger Rock. Sekoti's success against his uncle Turn Nose gave him the confidence to return again, to challenge his brother, Pretty Boy. He was now armed with rebellious cubs. They also coveted the area to take over, so Pretty Boy decided to flee. While Sekoti announced his arrival by brutally attacking a young lion in the north, breaking its back. The message was clear to all: Sekoti is the king. Sekoti's battles with other lions were epic and showed his immense strength. In one famous battle, Sekoti single-handedly faced a huge lion named Mafutu, who sought to take over Sekoti's territory. The battle lasted for hours, with the lions exchanging blows and growls. But in the end, Sekoti was able to overcome Mafutu with his immense strength and speed, and drove him away. On the other hand, despite Sekoti being crowned king of the north, there is discontent among the rebellious young lions. At the forefront of them is the young lion Waziba, the eldest of his siblings, who is preparing to overthrow Sekoti. 4.5 years old, Waziba is growing fast and showing the qualities of a leader who may be Sekoti's successor. Guides report that he has begun leading successful hunts, although all the glory goes to Sekoti. Waziba is also said to sneak up on females when he is not under the king's watch. For Sekoti, his life is a fairy tale, a roller coaster ride that has transformed him from a struggling lone male to a proud king of the savage kingdom. He has fought great battles to get to where he is now, and many more bloody battles and betrayals are sure to await him. But for now, he sleeps peacefully for a short while, before the coming days force him to fight again, taking on rivals to prove that he alone is the king of the north.